Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday. This is Billy Funk here in Chicago. It is November 20th, 2013. Hope you're having an awesome morning so far, and I hope your week is just going absolutely fantastic. We've got something that, if you're down in the dumps, we can bring you back out of there and into the awesome land, I would like to call it. We've got a Mindset Your Marketing call today. It is I believe it's number 5, and what we've gone through so far is the what, the why, the who, and the where. We're going to talk today about the how of your mindset. How do you get your mindset to be awesome? And the how of marketing. How do you go out there and market yourself? How do you go out there and talk to people? I've got 2 awesome co-hosts with me. Shannon Young out of there in Georgia is an unbelievable marketer. She's got a fantastic mindset. And we got Lany Sullivan, who is just absolutely incredible with her mindset and her connections and her marketing. So the 3 of us are doing this Mindset Your Marketing call every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will have an online show, a Google Hangout starting next week, so stay tuned for that. If you're listening to this right now, if you're on the call, if you're listening to the recording of this, make sure you listen to this entire call, because towards the end, I'm going to give some tips and tricks on marketing. I'm going to tell you the 25 words that has taken me from not being able to really build a big team to being able to build a team of 1,000 people in 100 days. I'm going to tell you 25 words that you need to put inside your back pocket, how to say them, and when to say them. So let's get started with the how. How do you have an awesome mindset? How do you change your life with your attitude, having an awesome attitude? And how does somebody stay positive when all hell is breaking loose around you? If you were put inside of a flaming building, of a burning inferno, it's hard not to feel the heat. It's hard not to feel the flames on top of you. And I'm using that as a metaphor, as an analogy, because inside your life, you're going to have negativity. There's going to be people that have a negative mindset, that are like flames, that are torching your dreams and your vision. So what do you do? What do you use as water? How do you use it? And what do you do to get yourself out of that situation? Well, I use positive affirmations, but I take it to the next level. I've got several things that if you were to put me inside of a room full of people that aren't like-minded, that like to gossip, that like drama, that like to talk about all things negative and not all things positive, if you put me inside that room, I have a shield that I will be able to put up that will absolutely block their negativity. It's a positive affirmation. I will sit there and inside my mind, I will say to myself, I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, wealthy, harmonious, loving, and happy. I will say that over and over and over again until that negativity around me becomes positive, until I feel my own energy and not theirs. Now, how do you take it a step further? Because so many people out there know the mindset part. They know the positivity part. They've seen The Secret. They've listened to Tony Robbins, or they've heard somebody talk about the secret to success is having a positive mindset. But there's a how to it. There's a missing piece of that puzzle that most people don't realize, because there's so many people out there that sit on the couch or sit in the office and think, I'm going to be rich. I'm awesome. I'm going to be rich. I'm awesome. And nothing happens for them because there's no motion. There's no action. See, take those positive thoughts. I'm all for that. I think that that's a huge piece of the puzzle. But the missing piece is the how, is the step, is the motion involved. I believe that our life, I believe that emotion is the force of life. And then when you've got emotion and in the right direction, everything just flows with that energy that you've been looking for. Take that positive mindset, take that thought and step to it and step through it. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're thinking about something, don't just stand still, because there's no motion or action involved in that. It's part of you, but it's not part of reality. It's not part of your outer experience. So when you have that positive mindset, when you have that positive thought, when you say to yourself that you are awesome, that you are rich, that you are wealthy, that you are healthy, step with it. Take action. Become certain of it. Feel your body change. Feel your body, feel that thought, and make it an emotion. Because we're not just thinkers. We're not just bodies. We're not just spirits. We're all 3 in 1. So you got to incorporate that into your success, into your mindset. Take everything that is you and make it a part of your mindset. I'm talking about your body and your spirit. Feel it. And go out there and experience your thoughts, especially all the good ones. Take that awesome mindset and start stepping with it. Step to it and step through it, and you're going to see your entire day shift. You can get into that certainty. You can get into that flow inside your mind. You can take yourself out of any negative experience, out of any negative environment, and you can completely shift it in a single moment. It doesn't take a day. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't take a month or a year. You can become whatever you want to become in a single moment, in less than a second. You just have to shift your mindset and your emotions at the same time. You got to become certain and have that flow of energy just go through you and to you. And that's what I've done to change what I've been in the past to who and what I am now. I've shifted everything. I've shifted my mindset. I've shifted my body. I've become certain and confident. Fear doesn't scare me. I know that it's just false evidence appearing real. Nothing that I can face right now would put me into a fear of shutting down, because I'm confident that any experience that I have will lead me to where I want to go. Even failure, I look at it as fantastic. I look at failure as my friend, because remember, if there was no such thing as failure, you would not be able to succeed. If there was no such thing as darkness, you would not be able to see light. If there was no such thing as hot, you would not be able to feel cold. So if there was no such thing as failure, you would not be able to succeed. Remember that. I'm going to shift this over to Shannon Young out there in Georgia. She's got an incredible mindset. She's got an incredible attitude, and she's an absolutely awesome leader. And she's got integrity. She knows how to go out there and market with her heart. And if you don't have hope, I think you don't have heart, and vice versa. So, Shannon Young, are you out there right now?
I am. Hello, Billy. Awesomely said. It was just phenomenal. And, you really nailed it, because, unless you're putting energy into your thoughts, they're just nothing more than thought, right? So that was perfect. I love that you touched on that. The one thing that I'm going to go in a little different direction than Billy just went, but I heard a phrase this morning that your tongue holds the power of life or death, which led me to think, how are you talking to yourself? How do you talk to other people? Even on bad days, we all have those days, right, where, everything goes wrong from the time we roll out of bed in the morning, but those can be shifted so quickly by the way you talk to yourself. Think about the good things think about the things that you're blessed with. Think about the positive things, because at the end of the day, we all have more positive than we do negative, even if things look so dark and grim. There's so much to always be thankful for. So I think that, that's the how for me is on those bad days and through those challenging times is how I talk to myself, and that self-talk. And, I just continually force myself sometimes even, and I know that's not a nice word to use, but sometimes we have to force ourselves to think those positive things and to think about, during those difficult times, what are the positives that we learn from that? Because, we all, as we go through those challenges, they do teach us. They do guide us. They do show us, lessons. And I think that I've come to the conclusion recently from a personal experience that, we do have to have those failures because of the lessons that they teach and the appreciation that we feel for the better times in life. And, so be consistent with the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you talk to other people. Be consistent in the integrity that you use in your business. Be consistent, be persistent with that integrity, and not everyone is going to have the integrity that you have, or that you want to use. But, the right people, I've heard it said a million times, you can never say the wrong thing to the right people. Well, the right people will have the same integrity, and that's how you build a successful team, right? So I'll turn it back over to you, Billy, and let Lany have it. But awesome job today, truly.
Hey, right back at you. I love your message. Go out there, lead with integrity, and it all starts with your mindset. If your mindset isn't full of integrity, your actions aren't going to be. And the future that you talk is the future that you walk. On top of that, Shannon gave us a great message about staying consistent and persistent. and just not stopping, fully realizing your goals and your dreams out there, but stay consistent and persistent with your actions, because I truly believe that success is inevitable if you don't quit. And that's something to write down. I definitely believe in that full statement, that if you want success, it's inevitable for you if you don't quit. And we've got somebody out here who's got that no-quit attitude. She's just an awesome marketer, an awesome networker. She knows how to connect with people. She knows how to stay positive. And Lany Sullivan out there in California, how is it that you do what you do? How are you so awesome?
Well, thanks. Jim Rohn said you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. And if you really think about your circles, and I love the circles aspect of this conversation, but if you think about your circle of who you surround yourself with, are you surrounding yourself with people who are negative and down and nasty and filled with drama and complaining, or are you surrounding yourself with people who speak positively? Are you feeding your mind with positive thoughts, positive goodness? Are you listening to positive audio? Are you listening to the news on the radio talking about all the death and destruction in the world? Or are you listening to those that are trying to impact and do better? So, really think about, for me, I surround myself with positive people. Billy, Shannon, Joe Montez, and then I have a whole network of people that think and believe the same way. And those are the people that I connect with. Those are the people that I run to in a bad day. Because you know what, they're not gonna feel bad for me. They're gonna have their empathy, but they're gonna be like, Lany, get up. You got things to do. You got things to handle and take care of. They're not gonna let me sit and wallow in my pity and my self-pity and my misery, because God has bigger things for me to do. And if you don't really focus on the bigger picture and it goes back to what we talked about the other day, your purpose and your passion. If you lose sight of that, your how, why, when, and all of that, nothing matters. So surround yourself with amazing, positive people. Feed your mind positively. Get rid of the garbage. So take out the trash. Come back inside. Wipe your feet. And start fresh.
I love it. I think you nailed it right on the head. Go out there and start fresh and have that awesome mindset that you just explained to everybody. I love it. Surround yourself with successful people, and you'll be successful. It's kind of like what I was sharing earlier. It fits right in there. If you find yourself in a burning building, it's almost impossible not to feel the heat. If you surround yourself with successful people, it's almost impossible for you not to feel the success. It's almost impossible for you not to shift your mindset. For you, it's almost like osmosis happens. When you literally put yourself in a room of fun, in a room of success, or in a room of negativity, that energy flows through you. No matter who you are, where you're at, it's really hard for you not to feel the energy of your environment. Now, there are ways, like I was telling you before, to put up a shield. If you do find yourself inside of a burning inferno of negative people, or just in an environment that you don't believe is conducive to your success, definitely put up that shield of that mindset affirmation. But take it a step further. Whenever you're looking to accomplish your goals and you're looking to change something in your life and you want to use positive thinking to help you set that foundation and take it a step further, your thoughts have to become action for them to become real. There has to be that. Make them alive. Go out there and find what you really want, believe it, focus on it, and step to it, and make those thoughts alive with action and emotion. Because what's an emotion? It's a thought that's now emotion. That's why they call it an emotion. So, that's our mindset, part of mindset your marketing. Now, here comes the marketing. Here comes the marketing with that mindset. If you're confident that when you talk to somebody, you're going to say the right words to the right person at the right time, you almost always will. One of the ways that I've gotten good at talking to people and closing sales, recruiting, building large teams is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's through practice. It's through practice, and more practice. Michael Jordan didn't get to the top of his career by going out there and sitting on the couch and just thinking that he was an awesome basketball player. one of the things that he told everybody that separated himself from the rest wasn't his God-given talent. It was his determination. It was his work ethic. Will Smith says the same thing. I mean, Thomas Edison, I'm sure, would say the same thing. Same with Henry Ford. Same with almost every successful person. It's because they went out there and they found something that they wanted to accomplish. They found something that really was passionate to them, and they practiced getting there. They practiced how to do it. They did it over and over and over again, even if it was fearful, even if it was something they weren't good at in the beginning, even if it was something that they were maybe afraid of at the beginning. They went out there and they still did it anyways. They went out there and they kept going and going and going. They knew that the more they did it, the better they would become. And I think that your marketing is the same way. I think that if you want to become awesome at prospecting, go out there and start prospecting. Go out there and start talking to people. Go out there and start failing. Fail quickly. Double your rate of failure. Double your rate of no's. Double the amount of no's that you take on any given day, and you're going to double your yeses. You're going to double your success. So how do you have that one killer phrase to talk to people with? Have you ever been in that situation where you've been sitting across from somebody, a friend of a friend of a friend, maybe you meet somebody at Starbucks, maybe you meet somebody at a networking event, and you know in your mind that person would just be absolutely awesome at what you do. And you thought to yourself, I don't want to screw this up. What do I say? How do I say it? I don't want to turn this person off because I know that they would be awesome at it. And you kind of like scratch your head, and a lot of people actually end up not even saying anything. They end up not even really connecting with that person later. They never get that person's number, and they look back on it with regret. Well, I don't want you to have any regret in life. I want you to take every experience in the past, look at even failure as fantastic, as long as you don't lose the lesson. But here's how you forge further and faster. When you take these 25 words I'm about to give you, and you use them properly, you can absolutely prospect with the best. You can go out there and you can get a yes, you can get a what is it. You're going to get somebody's name and information, their phone number, their email, whatever you're looking for. I'm going to tell you right now, over 90% of the time. If I met you on the street, if we just happenly, met at a Starbucks, at some business, and I started prospecting you, I've got over a 90% chance that I'm going to get your name, your number, and if I wanted an email, and at the same time, you're going to say, yes, Billy Funk, send me some more information. Yes, I'd like to find out more. Why? Because here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I do it. I'm going to build rapport with you. I'm going to build that instant connection. I'm going to do two things. I don't accomplish both every time. I'm going to build some common ground. I'm going to find out where you're from. I'm going to use weather if we're not in front of each other, if we're on the phone. I'm going to ask you, where you're at, what's the weather like over there. I'm going to tell you what the weather is like over here. I'm going to find if you're an entrepreneur. If you're somebody that thinks like me, we've got common ground. I'm going to attempt to find a way to make you laugh, to find a way not at anybody. If anything, it's going to be at myself, or it's going to be at some sort of social norm that people think is normal, which really isn't. I'm going to find a way to make you laugh and share a laugh with you. Now, here's the funny thing. If you put me on stage in front of a group of people expecting to hear a comedic performance, I would get booed off stage every single time because I'm not a comedian. But I somehow find a way to kind of, to laugh with somebody, even if it's just right in the beginning. Even if it's just for, that brief moment where we both kind of, just laugh at something that's a generalization about society. Or if you're a network marketer, I've got the perfect topic for you to laugh about with somebody that's also a network marketer. That word pyramid. You say that word pyramid to somebody that's a network marketer, to somebody that's a business professional, to somebody that understands residual income, they're not going to be asking you, is this one of those pyramid things? When that P word comes up in a conversation with professionals, you guys are laughing about it. How many people are inside of a pyramid and don't even realize? Every organization, every company, everybody out there, if you're inside of some sort of group of people, you're most likely in a pyramid. And it's a funny thing to laugh about with somebody that understands what you're talking about. So here's the 25 words that will absolutely take you to where you want to go, that will help you prospect with the best of them. When you build that rapport with somebody, when you build that common ground, what's the best thing to say to them? Well, you could say to them, hey, Sally, hey, Jane, hey, John, hey, Joe, I got a quick question for you. Are you open to making any additional income outside of what you're currently doing if it doesn't interfere with what you're doing? those 25 words right there in and of themselves. Are you open to making any additional income outside of what you're currently doing, as long as it doesn't interfere with what you're doing? Now, here's how I recruit waiters and waitresses all the time. It's because before they give that check, I've built rapport with them. That second time before they give that check, I will say to Shannon or Lany or to John, Joe, Billy, whatever the waiter or waitress's name is, I will say to them, you know what? I will say this only if it's true. If I find a sharp waiter, I will say, you know what, John? You are an awesome waiter. I just want to let you know that you're really good at what you do. I got a quick question for you. Are you open to making any money, any additional income outside of Chili's, as long as it doesn't interfere with Chili's, or are you married to Chili's? Waiters, waitresses, bartenders, anybody that's working in a convenience store, a gas station, a restaurant, they do not want to be married to that job. 95% of them don't plan on working there for the rest of their life, and they're all open to making additional income. A lot of times I can walk up to somebody in a gas station that's working. I can say, hey, quick question. I know this may sound crazy, but you look like a people person. Are you open to making any additional income? Are you open to a part-time job? You don't even have to qualify them, and they'll say yes. Or they'll say, what is it? And that's what you want from them. So any waiter or waitress, I edify them, I build them up, and then I ask them if they're open to making any additional income outside of what they're doing, outside of Chili's, outside of Outback, or are they married to Outback? Are they married to Chili's? Are they married to Applebee's? They don't want to be married. They'll say yes, or what is it? You'll get their number. And the ones that don't give you their number, the ones that say no, you don't want them anyways because they have a closed mindset. So that's how I market. I've got plenty more tips and tricks that I can give you here over the course of next week, over the course of next month, over the course of next year. We're going to be doing this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Shannon, I know you had some awesome mindset, leading with integrity. Do you have any words on the marketing part of the how and how you do what you do so well?
Sorry, I was muted. I do. You know, if your team or if your followers see that you're consistent with your posting, they see that you're consistent with your actions, they see that you're the same person day in, day out, that's who is going to be attracted to you. That's the one that's going to be open to you. So it's so important. You know, I know that for those of you who follow me on Facebook or Google, you know, you see me make a lot of posts, but I do that for a reason, so that I stay consistent and I stay persistent, and so that, because we have so many friends on those pages, and many of them we never get a chance to talk to on a daily, weekly, monthly, and sometimes even on a yearly basis, right? So that's a great way for people to see who you are and to show that this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in, this is what I do, you know, because the right people will notice that. And once you start having those likes and comments, reach out to those people immediately. Don't wait until the next day. I mean, literally, reach out within an hour to anybody who leaves a like or a comment on your statuses and your updates, because those people are interested in you. Because remember, you are the product, and they're looking to buy you.
I love it, Shannon Young. That's awesome. I think you nailed it right there. And anybody that takes any of these tips and goes out there and stays consistent and persistent with them, I think you're going to get the results that you've been looking for. Kind of like building a dollhouse or building a bike or building something from scratch when you got a box full of parts and pieces and you've got a directions list. You've got a printout of directions. Everything that comes in a box that's not that's assembly required has got a step-by-step instructions and directions, and if you follow them from point A to point Z, from step 1 to step 30, you will get that end goal. You will get that bicycle. You'll get that dollhouse. You'll get whatever it is that had that assembly required. And it's really about staying consistent and persistent with your actions and following the right steps. You know, take a goal and write down exactly what it would take for you to hit that goal. And if you follow your direction list, you'll hit it every time. If you don't stop until you're there, you'll always hit it. Success is inevitable as long as you don't quit. And Lany Sullivan, like we said before, you are the no quitter, the the awesome attitude mindset. What is it about marketing with the how and how you do what you do that you could share with everybody?
A lot of the things that I do, Shannon and I have discussed, what she just said is really connecting with people. I don't pitch people. You see online a lot of people, even belly to belly, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you are selling your business without bringing value to somebody, they're just looking at you as a salesperson. You have officially become a car salesman to them. So bringing value, and I do business coaching, and I'm talking to my business owners about bringing value to your marketplace before you bring your product, because as Shannon said, they buy you, they don't buy your product. I mean, I get phone calls every day now and messages every day online about, what are you doing? I see you're posting, but I'm not pitching people. I'm creating value, and they're interested in the value and where that value is coming from. And the other thing is you have to be fearless. And we were talking before the call about fear, and we all have our fears. Shannon and I are little chickens because we have to start doing videos, and so we're going to start overcoming our fears. And the one fear that people have is talking to people, and they're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of getting rejected from your friends, your family, your coworkers, the person on the street. Doesn't matter who it is. People don't like rejection. So there's a book I recommend. It's called Go for No. It's a 100-page, simple read. I recommend every single person in network marketing and in business read that book. It will change your perspective about what no means. So that's all I've got for you, Billy.
I love it. I love Go for No. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Go out there and read Go for No. Because when your goal is to go out there and take 10 no's to get 10 people to reject you, and it happens, guess what? Nothing bad happened. You just achieved your goal. And by sheer practice, by sheer going out there, by sheer law of averages, you're going to take some yeses. You're going to figure out the next set of 10. You're going to get better. And the people that say no to you, a lot of them will actually say yes. So I think that if you took any of these actions, any of these attitudes, anything that from this call, and you went out there and you applied it in your life and your marketing, I truly believe that you can accomplish anything that you want. So what are your steps to take forward today? Well, we talked about how surround yourself with not just successful people, but a successful thought, a successful affirmation. Be able to put up that block, that force field, that shield at any time. It's almost like water to a fire, because it's impossible to not feel the heat when you're inside that burning inferno. Then we talked about how to stay positive, how to go out there and take your thoughts and make them action. Because I believe that emotion is the force of life. I believe that if you want to stay positive when all hell is breaking loose, take your thoughts and put some emotion behind them. Make those emotions. Step to and through your thoughts. Make them come alive with action. And then we had Shannon give us some absolute awesome breakdown of having integrity and leading with consistency and persistency. Lany gave us some awesome surrounding yourself with successful people and how to not have fear, to go out there and be fearless and go for no. And those 25 simple words. Are you open to making any additional income outside of what you're currently doing, as long as it doesn't interfere with what you're already doing? Take those words and utilize them effectively, efficiently. Go out there and prospect up, find professionals, and I think that your business will build so much easier when you've got professionals and you're prospecting up. So what's your goals? What's the next step? Well, implement any of this. Maybe go out there and take 10 no's today. Maybe go out there and stay consistent and persistent. Maybe go out there and create some sort of affirmation, some force field, some shield that you can use when you're not in the right environment. Maybe go out there and find a couple of leaders, some mentors that you can surround yourself with. Take anything that we've shown you today, anything at all, anything that you've heard, and apply it. Take action, because just thinking about it will get you to stand still. But going out there and taking that thought and making it action, you'll become a force to be reckoned with. Energy will flow to you and through you, and you'll attract everything. Become that magnet of success that you always wanted to be, and you always will be. So with that, this is Billy Funk with Mindset Your Marketing, number 5. On behalf of Shannon Young and Lany Sullivan, stay positive, stay passionate, and stay powerful. We'll see everybody on Friday. We'll give you guys the time on Facebook. We'll have the recording up here in the next hour. Hope you guys have a fantastic, wacky Wednesday, and we'll be ready for Fearless Friday. God bless everybody.